Hey guys, Jesse from AverageJesse.com in front of one of my raised beds in my backyard, and we're going to do a little bit of pruning because the vegetables have grown out to the point where they're blocking other vegetables from getting enough sun. So we're going to prune a couple of them. We're going to make a salad for some other items in my yard and see what all we can harvest before it gets so cold that some of my other plants start dying.
So one of the things that I've noticed is that this particular broccoli plant has some leaves that are shadowing this other broccoli plant. So one is substantially smaller than the other. So I'm going to come through here. I'm just going to clip the biggest leaf here and pull that out to allow a little bit more sun to hit that particular plant. Similarly over here, I've got a bunch of Swiss chard that's crowding out the Swiss chard that's behind it. So I'm going to pull out a couple of these larger ones as well. And then I've got some Brussels sprouts in here that I'm going to cut off kind of the outer edge because there's two plants back here, and obviously this one gets more of the sun, so it's quite larger than the smaller one back here. So I'm going to go ahead and start trimming out a couple of these. Pull these out. A couple more here. And as we can see, something is eating my Swiss chard, but that's okay because I'm going to go ahead and cut out some of these. Get this one that's in my peas. And I'm just going to go around in a circle, harvest all the outsides, and come back here in just a minute. Alright, another reason why I wanted to kind of prune this raised bed is you see I've got a Swiss chard leaf here that's totally covering my Okinawan spinach. And so it's getting very little sunlight and it's not growing here, so this guy needs to be eaten. Now I know from experience that the stalks on these larger Swiss chards I personally don't care for in salads, so I'm just going to open up my mulch tumbler here, or my compost tumbler rather, and I'm just going to cut off the stalks of some of these Swiss chards. Okay, I've trimmed off the stalks of the Swiss chard and the Brussels sprouts and the broccoli. So I'll go ahead and close up this tumbler. And I've accomplished my goal where nothing is completely covering anything else. Everything's got exposure to the sun. I've got my colander full of those greens here. And I'm just going to grab a couple other things to make my salad with. I had a couple of lettuce here, but they bolted. We had a heat wave a couple weeks ago in Phoenix, and all of these bolted and went to seed, so there's all kinds of seed down there now. So I'm just going to grab some cilantro and some dill, some arugula, and I'm looking for the ones that might have some bug damage on it because the way I'm going to make the salad, it's not going to matter. You won't even be able to see it. Let's see, grabbing some of the dino kale. And some of the curly kale, grabbing from the bottom and working my way up to the top. You excited?
Hey.
And then I'm going to grab some of this Okinawan spinach here.
Helps.
You're helping. And let's see, we got here some snow peas, or some snap peas rather. Pull these off. Looking in my bush beans here, I've got some green beans that are ready to harvest, so I'll pick these. Toss those in. I'm not seeing any. Oh, wow, there's a whole cluster of them down here. Let's see. That looks to be about it out of this bed. I just realized I missed a whole section. This is the Egyptian walking onion, and that's some marigold. And I'm going to cut these off and use them kind of like chive. So I'll cut a couple of these off and grab a couple of these marigold tops. Put those in. All right, now I think we're done with this bed. And my moringa tree has pretty much exploded. So I'm going to come in here and just cut off a section. And I will put all that in the salad as well. And in this raised bed, we've got some Malabar spinach, which I've really grown to start loving. So I'll pull some out of that. And I also have some society garlic. So I'll pull a couple of these off and add these as well. And no okra is ready. Got some that's still flowering here at the end of November. I think that's about, oh, we can grab some of this sweet basil and add that. Grab some sweet basil here. Right, that ought to do it. Just a handful. You don't need a whole lot of this when you grow it yourself. It's pretty potent. And I think we are ready. Okay, we've got all of our veggies and herbs from the garden. We're gonna chop them up. I've got a salad spinner here. These have not been washed yet. These are just straight out of the garden. So something I saw John Kohler from growingyourgreens.com do is if you take your largest item, like this Swiss chard here, and we just layer a couple of other things in here. Put in some of this dill, and I'm gonna pop just the flowers off of this marigold. Roll it up real tight. And we are going to chiffonade this wrap. So real thin slices. Sprinkle it in our salad spinner. And rinse and repeat. Load it back up with some cilantro and another marigold. Done. We have all these real fine greens in my salad spinner. Let's take it over and then let's wash everything. Okay, nothing super exciting or complicated about this. Just gonna rinse off the top on here. Gets all the water out. And I'll do this a couple of times. Kind of toss this a little bit and spin it again. Now normally I can eat this entire thing for lunch, but for now I'm just going to take a bit of it, and you can see some of the marigold, you can see some of the Okinawan spinach in there. Fill up a bowl here, and I really like to add some nutritional yeast. It kind of has a nutty flavor and it's good for you, loaded with all kinds of vitamins. So I try to add that to things when I can. Then I add a little bit of dressing. Now eventually I'd like to make my own dressing, but you know, eating some of this processed dressing is not going to detract from all of the nutrients in the greens that I grew in good soil, and it's super tasty. And I definitely encourage you guys to prune, and if you have to prune your garden, make a salad out of it and change it up. Don't just tear it, but that looks really good. We've got some nice purple in there that was from the Okinawan spinach, and I tell you, this stuff is just dynamite. So go out, take a look at your raised beds. If anything needs some sun, cut it out, chop it up, make yourself a salad. I was sitting here enjoying my salad. It's almost all gone. I'm editing the video and I realized I forgot the most important ingredient of the salad. My dad makes spicy pickled carrots, and they are that last little bit of just kick and taste and spice, and just the last little bit that's missing from these salads. And I think I knew something was missing, and I'm glad that I finally remember what it was. So I'm going to finish up some of these carrots and the rest of my salad, edit this video and get it posted. And I hope that either somebody can post a comment on how to make their own dressing, or other things that I can put in here that I can grow, you know, besides tomatoes, but other things like, you know, the yeast or some personal favorites. So put that down in the comment. I'd really love to hear it. And once again, I'm Jesse with AverageJesse.com.